Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. So since last episode, I have been working, you can see I did name tag our Captain Jackrabbit, which I do want to get him healed up here soon. I also moved over all of our storage, all of our tech, all of our furnace tech, our bed. I have 173 cobblestone at the moment, and really interesting thing, I have Grandmaster the Osmium pickaxe, and I'm approaching the max XP. I don't know if there's another tier after that in this pack or not. But then I also bumped that up to luck 3, and I also gave it 5 levels of redstone, so it has hastest at the moment. And we have 3 modifiers. I changed over the binding to paper to give us an extra modifier, and then of course we can get 1 from magical wood, and then if we level it up again we should have 5 modifiers, so I should be able to put unbreakable on it. So we'll have a pick, hopefully, if everything works out alright, we'll have a pick with luck 3, fastest mining speed, and unbreakable, which will be kind of nice. And then if we head down here, I've got a little bit to show you guys before we get started. This I haven't worked on. We're going to be working in there a little bit today. I've been doing a little bit of decorative work, but it's taken a little while to get into it. Down here I have started farms, which this area still just looks like a cave. Originally I was going to work on this, but then I started working upstairs, and you'll see where I've been working. But anyways, we have potatoes, carrots, wheat, beetroots, and then all the rest of this is Pam's harvestcraft. And by the way, I'm on the server right now with RDFA, Isa Dwarf, and Tyler 489. So anyways, I have got a fair amount of Pam's harvestcraft, just a variety here. And then I have, in here I have some stuff just like crops, and then these are ones I haven't planted yet. Which we're going to make that a whole lot easier this episode. So I'm just kind of steadily expanding back on farms, because I do want to hit Pam's harvestcraft and hit it pretty seriously from the get-go. Now also, by the way, I also went out and I was doing a bit of village pillaging, and I found an ender sack, among a couple other really nice things. So we do have a portable ender chest, and then I've also got a reusable ender pearl and engraved thunder, which is actually pretty good, and yeah, just a bunch of other junk. I got another hammer since our one vanished on us from the crate. And then over here, this is where most of my time has been spent. I have started building out with a little bit of architecture craft. I've started building out a little, this is my little decorative area. So my chisel, I actually have 5 blank patterns there, because I was using those a little bit. But we kind of have like a little deck area. I've still got to do the ceiling and the roof and the walls, and I'm just starting. I've been doing so much digging since last episode. And then over here, I've started working on this little area, and I've done a chisel and bit floor. So we kind of have like the, I don't know what that's called, like the grating that, is on top of a ship. So, I don't know. We have kind of that sort of flooring through here. And this is going to be a storage area to store all of our booty in this little area. And then if you continue on back, there's double staircases that lead down to each side of this little section here, and this is up underneath the floor. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do storage down here or if I'm going to bring and do gardens up here. I don't know. I'm not for sure, because we're going to need a lot of space for gardens, and I do see a spot over here where mobs can spawn. So, anyways, I have been working on that. And the worst thing is I couldn't just do a pattern because it's a little bit, different placement of the lines for each block. So I had to do the first one all like line by line, and then I had to do the patterns and copy it over like one for one. That was kind of fun. But anyways, that's what I've been working on so far. Just a little bit of building, a little bit of pillaging, and kind of a little bit of just getting settled, let's say. And of course I do have an architect saw bench. That's like, gotta have it, gotta have that thing. So I did get that like right after last episode. So, oh, also a thermal hammer is gone because I was repairing it. I got up to the point, the last repair that I did was like 20 levels, and then I had one for 35 levels, and I was like, no thanks, and I just broke it, I just used it till it broke. So it's not so bad now that I have haste assist on this pickaxe. It's not too bad. So anyways, today we're going to pick back up with some quests to make our lives a bit easier, and I want to start getting into actually cooking proper food. Right, and I think the first step to doing that is we need to get into cooking for blockheads. That's the first thing I want to do this episode. So we have a quest here to make a few things, 2 fridges, an oven, a cooking table, kitchen counter, and a tool rack, and we're going to make quite a few more than just what they suggest, or just what the quest has us making. But let's go ahead and we'll start with the cooking table. So we're going to need, actually we're going to need a lot of terracotta for this. Actually this one, yeah, we'll start with the oven, actually. So, which none of my stuff is sorted yet. It's going to be sorted soon, but right now it takes me a minute to find things. Let's go ahead and get some clay cooking up. Because we are going to need quite a bit of that terracotta. Let me go ahead and do like another, there's another 8. And then I'm just going to steal one of these furnaces because I don't really need this many, and the oven actually works as a furnace. Oh, it has to be black stained glass. Okay, but I've got ink sacks right there. And then I did make a handheld crafting table as well. So, black stained glass and our oven. Fridge is just chest with an iron door, so let's go ahead and get those. And we are going to need 2 of them for the quest. And it's kind of, they stack together like 2 high, so. And then what else do they want us to get for the quest? The cooking table, the kitchen counter, and the tool rack. Okay, the tool rack, let's go ahead and get that. So we're going to need a couple iron nuggets, which I do actually have a couple. These I got off of a golem. And I'm actually going to go ahead and make 2 tool racks because that's what you need to put all the tools up. I think there's like 8 with Pam's harvestcraft, or there was 8. That's not to say there's not more now, but we'll see. Let's see, kitchen counter. Oh, we're going to need stone. Let me get some stone smelted. I had some smelted up between episodes, but I ended up using it. Basically just filling in like holes whenever I was digging that I didn't want open right now. Of course, it's not going to stay stone, but I didn't want those big open like gashes in the wall. And I guess we need to go ahead because the cooking table is going to take the Cooking for Blockheads 2 book, which we're going to have to upgrade. So we need to smelt just a book to get the Cooking for Blockheads 1 book. And these, you can actually use these to craft things like in your inventory. Like if you have the ingredients for a food, you can use that for, you know, finding the food. It actually details it right there. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to go straight for the kitchen. The kitchen's really nice to have because you can store all your stuff, and it kind of acts as like almost like a refined storage system for your food items. Okay, so Cooking for Blockheads 2 book. There's that. And then our stone is done, and we'll go ahead and get our cooking table. Bam. And then our kitchen counter. Bam. There we go. And we should get a quest complete. There we go. Quest complete, Cooking for Blockheads. And we get to pick a loot chest. 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to go with 3. And let's hope we get something really, really awesome out of it. We got a purple crystal shulker box. It's from Iron Chest, so that's actually pretty good storage, right? That's decent storage. We're going to hold on to that. Plus, I like the way these open, so. And don't the shulker boxes, they retain their inventory, right? Yeah. So you can move items around with those. That's really, that's kind of nice, actually. Oh, and I got it on the wall right now. I haven't used shulker boxes too much because, you know, it's a vanilla thing, and usually I have, like, a different alternative. By the time you go to the end, you're not usually using chests anymore, so. Okay, so we got our multi-block kitchen, and let's pop down here. We're going to go set this thing up. And this is going to be like a little kitchen area, and then I'm going to do like some, you know, dining tables along the side there. Kind of like a little eatery area. So let's go ahead and set up our kitchen. We'll put it right here. Yeah, and then we'll have like an entrance on one of these sides. Let's see. And kitchen counter right there. And you can see like I can store stuff into this, right? And then I can make french fries and triple meat treat at the moment. No, I don't know why that's showing up because I can't craft that. And french fries, I just need a knife. But I'm not going to worry about those. And then we're going to go ahead and set up our oven like right there. We'll put our fridge. This isn't going to stay here. The fridge is going to be, of course, on the far side. And we're going to have additional fridges and stuff. But we'll put our fridge right there. Then we're just going to put our tool racks. For right now, we're just going to put our tool rack setting there and there. Until I get more kitchen counters made. But I need so many of them right now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pop down here, and actually let me use that purple crystal shulker box for moving this stuff. Because I want to take all this food with us. Up there. All the food that I don't need to plant. Anyways. And seeds do have a use for food as well, so we'll go ahead and take those. Now cotton, I don't think we can actually use cotton to make food. Oh, cotton candy. Never mind, we can. So we're going to take that up there too. Normally you use that for making string. That's why I wanted to hurry up and get that put down, because I actually need a decent amount of string. So, alright, and I'm just going to take all this stuff. For right now, I'm probably going to end up organizing this. And it's nice because they've actually added, in more recent versions of Cooking for Blockheads, of course, they've added a fair amount of new little features and stuff. Some of my favorites being the kitchen corner. And the kitchen floor, which count as a multi-block kitchen, so you can expand on your multi-block kitchen with it. The fruit basket, also really, really nice. And then you also have these upgrades. So, like, there's the preservation chamber. Goes in the fridge, and it'll prevent the last item of a slot from being used up, so you don't have to worry about, using up the last items. So, we will definitely be using those. But for right now, I'm just going to dump all the food into our fridge. There we go. And now if we take a look here at the cooking table, this is all the stuff that we can make. Now some of it will require like tools, but it's a whole lot easier to craft food because of course you have like Pam's Harvestcraft adds so many recipes. And I love Pam's Harvestcraft, like that's one of those mods that I think should be in like every pack because it just makes food interesting within Minecraft. But there's so much here, it's hard to keep track of all of it and to really know what you can craft, so having this is quite useful. And of course there are like ingredients like flour, dough, cooking oil. Can't eat those, but they're used to make more intricate foods. And actually juices, like carrot juice and stuff, are really nice to make. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and craft out our tools, maybe. So we'll have those done and available. Most of these are pretty cheap. Wood, brick, sticks, and I know some iron is used normally. Maybe it's not in this pack. No, it's actually all fairly easy. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and craft out all 8 of these, and I will be back here in just a minute. Okay, I got all 4 of these tools put in. So we have, the mixing bowl, the cutting board, mortar and pestle, and the juicer. And then in here I have the bakeware, the pot, the saucepan, and the skillet. So we have all 4 of those. And then the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to start getting meat, because most foods are going to require some form of meat coming in. So what we're going to do for meat, since we live on the water, and it kind of makes sense, we are going to go into fishing. And we're going to go ahead and semi-automate some fishing. I'm still going to have to actually pull the fish out manually at the moment. But what we're going to go with is a water trap. So we're going to need a bit of string before we get this going. And that's why I went ahead and got cotton planted. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab like 63 pieces. And we get 2 string per craft. So it's really good. And it's really, really useful because we're going to have all the food that we could need. We can also do other types of meat like animals, and we will, but not right this second. Because we're going to actually have to have it, it has to see the sky if I recall, and I don't really have any good like grassy areas that can see the sky down here, so we will get that, but not just yet. Okay, so I'm going to want to get a fishing rod. There's that. Let's go ahead and we'll start with 3 of these, and I'll probably end up expanding them. I will probably eventually put the fishing outside, like more in the ocean. But for right now, for convenience sake, I think I'm going to put it in our little lagoon area here. And so let's go ahead and get our water traps. 3 of these. There we go. And then I'm also going to want... I can't make an angel block yet, can I? Can I make an angel block? You know what? Oh, feathers, though. Do I have feathers? I don't. I could go get some pretty easily, but by the time I went and got some, I could have already just done this. So I'm just going to get some cobblestone, and we're going to put our fish traps. I'll put it right over here. So we're just going to bring this out a little bit. A few blocks here, and we'll put down our first fish trap right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put a light source there. And then we're going to come out... let's just kind of stagger these out. So we'll put another one setting like right here, and another one setting like right there. That should work. They need to be able to like touch up, I think it's 5 blocks, and that's counting horizontals. So that should be good. And it needs to be at least 1 block deep water. So, okay, so now that we've got that in place, let's go ahead and craft up some bait. And we need fish trap bait, which is going to require a fish and then 3 pieces of string, and you get 4 bait. It used to be a lot more expensive, but it's not anymore. So what I'm going to get, if I can find it here, are raw calamari. And I wonder, can I just do that? Yeah. You can also turn these into fish, but let's go ahead and we'll get 20 fish bait. And each fish bait, you're going to be able to catch 1 fish. So it is going to be, you know, it's going to cost string for us. And that string's going to add up, but we have a cotton farm, so that's not too much of a concern for us. And so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and just take our fish bait, and I'll toss in 7 pieces, and you'll notice 1 immediately gets eaten up. That means it's working. That's one way to test it. So, and then we'll dump a piece in there, or some pieces in there, and some pieces in there. And I could chunk load this. I'm not going to right now, because I'm usually hanging around here. And it takes about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, something like that, before you're going to catch any fish. So, now there's also veggie bait, grain bait, and fruit bait, which you can see you can get meat items from that. And we will get, each of these baits are different, but they're all for the ground traps. And while that's running, there's something that I want to make. And I went mining for emeralds. I got a decent amount of emeralds. I actually crafted an emerald upgrade for this. So you can see with 1 emerald upgrade, we have 832 slots for our cobblestone. Almost 200 stacks. It's closing in on 200 stacks already. But we are going to get ourselves a block of emerald. And what I want to make is a market from cooking, or farming for blockheads. And there we go. There is our market. And this thing, I kind of wanted it so that we can fill out our Pam's harvestcraft stuff. But I can also spawn animals with this, which is another nice feature. Yeah, he's just going to be standing inside of there. That's fine. For right now, he'll get moved. But for right now, he's going to go there, and I can buy the seeds that I need for emeralds. Which, since we live in this biome, it's not too difficult to get emeralds. Then we can also buy trees as well, and all the different, saplings, all the biomes of plenty saplings will have. All the standard Minecraft saplings, and we can also buy animals, including polar bears, parrots, llamas, all that good stuff. They are a little bit expensive, but we have villagers nearby. I could start trading with villagers for additional emeralds as well. But that way I can, any seeds that I'm missing, because Pam's harvestcraft adds so many seeds, right? Because if you take a look here, like Pam's harvestcraft starts right here, and it goes all the way down through here. That's actually an edible, but it goes through all of these. So definitely want to get that market up and going, so that if I find a food that I want to go to, I can easily make the stuff that I need for that. Now, the food that I'm actually planning on going for first, at first I was planning on going for sushi. Since we live on the ocean, it would kind of make sense. But I mean, we're at a point now where we could go ahead and push on into the California roll. And so that's what I want to do. It takes avocado, rice, seaweed, cucumber, and then any kind of fish on a cutting board. And you can see it actually has pretty decent saturation, and it's 4 of our 5 food groups. The only thing we'll need to cover is dairy. We'll need to get something up and going for dairy, which we are going to get a cow in a jar this episode, so that's definitely going to help us out. So give me a second. I'm not for sure. See, avocado, rice, seaweed, and cucumber. I don't think I have any of those planted, which I am going to put signs up in here and everything and make this a little bit nicer. Yeah, I'm going to have to buy all 4 of those. I mean, I could go out and find gardens and try to get lucky, but I think I'm just going to buy them, which I might be. I've got just enough emeralds. That's great. Okay. Well, except for the avocado is a sapling, isn't it? But rice, seaweed, cucumber I can get. And we'll just drop our emerald in there and grab our rice. Okay, so I am going to need 3 more emeralds, though. I'm going to have to go mining for just a minute. I'm going to need 3 more emeralds to actually make, to get the avocado sapling that we're going to need. Now, I will say that I am planning on making all the different foods, because if you look at, let's say California roll, right? You can see that it says not yet eaten. What does it taste like? Basically, every 10 different foods that you eat, you get an extra heart. That's why I have some yellow hearts there. Is because I've been eating a variety of things, and this counts a lot of ingredients you can eat, and they will count for that. So with Pam's Harvestcraft, you can really like kick through the foods that you need to eat and bump up your hearts that way. So it's definitely a mod that's worth getting into heavily right out the gate, I feel like. But let's go check on our fish. Let's see how that's doing, because I'm going to want to craft up... initially, I'm going to want to use most of the fish for making more bait. But then, before long, of course, you get 4 bait per fish. So eventually, it's going to... we're going to be getting a lot more. And can you use mussels? Okay, you cannot use mussels for making bait. Also, you'll notice that the fish that come from the trap do not stack, so, I mean, it's only going to get 15 fish, and then it's going to have to be emptied out. Green heart fish. Awesome. But the nice thing is, this is, for us, this is really... It's going to be a great source of protein, living on the water. And then, of course, if you live in the grasslands, you can pretty easily do, the ground traps and get meat that way. That way you don't have to worry about putting down animal farms like day one. Instead, you can focus more on getting your gardens planted out and actually making pretty nice food without having to worry about feeding cows and fishing and all that stuff. Okay, I went out and I got some emeralds, and I also was doing some stuff with the fish, as you can see. Let's go ahead and purchase our avocado sapling. So it should be 3 emeralds for one of those. Now, once you make one, though, you can actually use 3, like, if you take a look here, you can use 3 avocados with any kind of sapling and make more. So they're pretty easy to expand. Just initially, you have to either go out and get 3 of the fruit or vegetables or, whatever, maple syrup or paper, But generally, you can just buy 1 and you'll be fine, because then you can just expand on them. I'm going to go ahead and dump these into there as well. Those fish. Some of those, like jellyfish and any kind of mussels, scallops, and oysters, those kind of things, you can't use to make bait, but most of the fish you can. I've got about 12 bait in each of those at the moment. Now, I do have 1 emerald left over, and I was really happy that I managed to get 1 extra, because we are going to use, if I can find my wood here. This will be sorted probably by next episode, so just a heads up. I want to make one more thing from Pam's Harvestcraft right now, and that is a shipping bin. I love these things. And they pretty much turn your game into Harvest Moon, Farming Valley. And what we're going to do is we're going to put down our shipping bin, like, right here. I might end up moving it up to the kitchen, I don't know. But you can take excess, like, food items, like fish, all the different kinds of fish. If you send 16, you get an emerald. So it's a way that we can earn emeralds, basically. And there's also, like, meat is in here, and sometimes vegetables. Honeycomb is in here. That is a really easy way to make emeralds right there. Okay, there's none of the crops are in here. Only meat-based products, so fish, or only animal-based products. So fish, meats, and then also honeycombs. So what we're going to do then, because honey is super easy with Pam's Harvestcraft, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a Pam's Harvestcraft apiary. I'm going to need leather. Which I know I have an item frame somewhere in here. And I don't know, can I make leather pretty easily in this pack? Rabbits. Can I dry rotten flesh? I cannot dry rotten flesh. Of course, if I did a ground trap. It's funny because there's 3 different bees in this pack. There's Pam's Harvestcraft has its own bees, Forestry has its own bees, and Rustic has its own bees. I have managed to farm, or to grab a little bit of each. Of course, we're going to want Forestry as a whole nother thing. We're doing a lot of that in Exoria, but I do have a few of the bees from that. I guess our avocados, we're going to put these down, which this isn't going to be the only food that we eat, but this is going to be like our first staple food that we go for, because it covers everything but dairy. I guess I'm going to plant this down, like, maybe right over here for now. Maybe right there. And I went ahead and chunk loaded it too, so hopefully it'll grow while we're out. Let's go ahead and get our other 2 item frames. Let's make our apiary for right now. Let's go ahead and get those up and going. So there's one of those. And then we're going to grab our queen bee. And we need to set this thing up. If I recall, let's actually see. I don't know, not 100% sure if these even require sightline to the sky or not. Yeah, I think it's running right now. Let me go check my fish traps and stuff. And is my avocado... It's not grown yet. Do I have any bones? I have bone blocks, actually. Because I was out and I mined up a few of these. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a bit of bone meal. And we'll go grow that avocado sapling. Okay, I got the avocado tree grown. I had to trim back a little bit of the dirt. We actually got lucky and got a lot of avocado nodes on this. Sometimes you get really unlucky and don't get any. So sometimes, you know, your emeralds or gathering up the plants and stuff, you might end up wasting it because you may not get anything out of it. Anyways, let's pop over here. We actually have the stuff, I think, now. I've got some cucumbers, some seaweed, some rice. We should be able to make our very first bits of California roll. Like one California roll at the moment. But the nice thing is, if you go through here, you can see not yet eaten, not yet eaten. And then you can eat all this stuff to make, you know, to get your extra hearts. Which is always, it's always quite useful. So, let's go ahead and make our very first California roll. Also veggie stir fry, but there it is. Fruit, grain, protein, vegetable, 2.1%. And let's go ahead. There we go. Our very first California roll. I'm not going to eat it just yet because it has a lot of... Well, I guess I could eat it. It's just mainly a lot of saturation. Yeah, I'll go ahead and eat it. And there we go. Plus I need a little bit of health. That means I can start moving away from just eating like baked potatoes and stuff. We still have to worry about our dairy. Which is going to require that we get some kind of dairy production going. You don't have to have milk for all of it, but for most of it you do. So, we've got some honeycombs and wax combs. Okay. Okay, it's been a little while. I went out mining and I've just been kind of working around the base, gathering up food and stuff. Now you'll notice that right here, we got another queen bee, so we'll just toss that into there. And we got a bunch of grubs and honeycombs and wax combs. Now wax combs don't have too much of a use. You can make wax comb blocks. You can also make pressed wax, which then you can use to make candles and stuff. I mean, and there's a few other recipes added, you know, with other mods and stuff like that. Wax combs and grubs are probably what I'm going to be selling. Oh, you can use grubs for dragon meals. We might... And vindaloo. Okay. See, grubs didn't used to have any purpose whatsoever. You can make grub sausage. Oh my gosh, you can actually use them as a meat product now. But you can... Sometimes you'll get royal jelly from your bees. Normally you don't get a queen bee back. You get royal jelly instead. Or that's how it used to be. But we got a queen bee, so... But you can combine your bee grub with your royal jelly. So, I mean, and you'll never run out. There'll always be either a royal jelly or a queen bee. Now, a couple things I want to make before we end up the episode. I want to go ahead and make the Pam's Harvestcraft presser, which is just a couple pistons and some iron. So, there is our presser. And this is used... I'm going to put it... I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I'm just probably going to go in the kitchen somewhere. But you can take your honeycombs and you can put it in there and it's just going to press them out. You don't need any kind of fuel. You don't need any, you know, anything special. And that's going to give you honey and pressed wax. And then what I'll probably do is I'll probably sell wax combs for emeralds. I'll use the honeycombs to get pressed wax and honey for candles and for recipes. Because you do use honey quite a bit in your recipes. And then I'll use grub as another meat source for stuff. I think it's what I'm going to do. I mean, I will say the wax combs, I mean, we'll make wax comb blocks for maybe some decor, but I think most of them I'm probably going to sell. And a couple other things I want to do to upgrade our kitchen. I have been expanding our kitchen. Like if you take a look here, I have this fridge is filled already, which is junk. Like I said, I'm going to sort stuff out and actually label it and stuff, but for right now, I've just kind of got all this filled in with a bunch of junk. By the way, there is some other stuff that we haven't covered yet. Spice racks, you can put stuff on. Toaster, you can make toast. And then there's also a fruit basket, and you can put fruit into that. And we'll be getting into those, or I'll be setting those up, but not this episode. And your kitchen, for it to connect, basically everything just has to be touching, you know, one of these things that says multi-block kitchen. So it's pretty much everything through here. You can even do the floor, which we'll be doing a floor as well. So, and you can also dye your counters as well. Just hit them with a dye. But something that I went out and got some more emeralds, and I want to go ahead and get I think this will just be the easiest way to do it. Let's get a spawn cow. Because living in this biome, emeralds aren't too rare, and now we'll have honey coming in, and I'm going to expand on the amount of apiaries that we have. And so I'm just going to do that to get our first cow. And actually this quest is going to give us another cow. I'm probably not going to drop the cow down from the quest. I'm not going to drop it down immediately. I will eventually, but not right this second, because I won't need milk, and I'm not going to be breeding the cow right this second. So, because I don't have animal pens put in yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to take and let's just dig down here, and we're going to drop our cow down into that hole, and let's go ahead and milk it, and we're going to make ourselves a milk jar. Oh, I need some planks. Let me go grab some planks real quick. There we go. There's our milk jar. And basically what the milk jar is for is quest complete cow in a jar. Oh, because you don't actually have to get the cow in a jar yet. They give you a spawn cow and a cow bait. Look at this. So easy to craft, like once you get everything up and going. 35 California rolls. Now, like I said, it's not going to be the only food that I eat. Like, I'm going to make some other ones, like here and there. Oh, I didn't mean to... I didn't mean to shift-click that, but the juices actually give you speed, which is kind of nice. They give you speed and pretty decent saturation as well. And now we have ate that, so it counts for us. But let's go ahead... I want to get the cow in a jar. Oh, stay there. What we're going to do is we're just going to dig down up underneath this cow. And we're going to put our milk jar down like right there. And there we go. Okay, so the cow is standing on top of our milk jar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our anvil. And anvils actually fall from gravity. So we'll put that right there. And pow. We're going to smash our cow into the milk jar. Probably one of my favorite recipes because it's just very unique. You don't see that very much for most mods. And we got the cow in a jar recipe. And what we can do is we can just put this down like right there. And you can see it's going to passively start generating milk up to 8,000 millibuckets. And I will probably end up making multiple cow jars so we have faster milk coming in. And let's go ahead and turn in the quest. We get a loot chest, 4 cow bait, and a spawn cow. Claim, oh, it's a choice reward. Spawn cow, cow bait, or a loot chest. I want the loot chest because I can get cows with emeralds. That's not a problem. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we got lucky. An Insanium Essence from Mystical Aggreditions. That's pretty nice because, I mean, that's a lot of essence right there. No immediate payoff for it, but there will be. There will be soon. And one other thing that I want to get this episode for our cooking with blockheads set up is I want to get a sink. Let me go get a bucket of water real quick. And there we go. There is our sink. And what this does is, like, now we have the cow in a jar, so we have infinite milk, right? I mean, it does have to generate, but we pretty much have infinite milk. The sink is infinite water. So you can see right there it says water stored, just a ton of millibuckets of water there. And you can right-click it and get a bucket of water, which is kind of nice. So if you need, like, mobile infinite water, you can take a sink with you. There's also other options within the pack, like I believe the whales are enabled. Yeah, the Pam's Harvestcraft whales, you can do these. And then there's also like pitcher plants. You can find those in the world and stuff. But the nice thing is the sink actually supplies our cooking table with infinite water. So I can make things like bubbly water. I can make things like, because bubbly water is just 2 things of water in a pot. So I can just make that freely. Also salt. You use salt in a lot of recipes. Let me just look it up here. Right there. Salt. We can just hit shift click and shift click again and pow, there's 64 salt. That easy. And I can just dump it in there. So now anything that requires salt, I have. And then also one thing I want to make, because of course right now our California rolls are everything but dairy, right? And dairy is going to become an issue. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to make yogurt. It just uses milk to make it, milk in a pot. And so we'll go ahead, there's 2 yogurt, and then we're going to make kiwi yogurt, which is a little bit better. This is 0.9% on the kiwi yogurt compared to 0.5%. It's a little bit better saturation. So, and I have tons of kiwis. There's other things that you can make, but kiwi yogurt's pretty decent, and it's super easy. I mean, I have all the kiwis I could want, pretty much. Like, I've got a stack there, and I've got some more, and then I've got a bunch planted down there. So that way we have all 5 of our food groups taken care of. Oh, and I got bubbly water. Let me go ahead and just make... It's nice to keep like a full stack, or I usually make like a shelf and just have it filled with salt, one filled with bubbly water, that kind of stuff, or a counter, have it filled. That way you always have that stuff available, because bubbly water is used to make your sodas. Also, by the way, fresh milk. One thing I suggest you do if you really get into cooking, like I'm really excited about, getting into cooking, as your milk builds up, I do suggest that, because you only have, at most 8 buckets, you can make fresh milk. Just shift right click and you can make that fresh milk, and then what you can do is you can use that milk in place of milk. Like normally it takes a bucket of milk or fresh milk, and you get 4 fresh milk per bucket of milk. It's a way to both make your milk go further and basically store up milk, and not just have the jar to store it up. Okay, there's 18 kiwi yogurt. So we'll be doing pretty good on dairy. Well, honestly, we'll probably have like nutrition max like around next episode or something. We'll see. But we're in a position now. I've got 18 kiwi yogurt. I've got 34 California rolls. And then California rolls will be pretty much our staple food. But I'm going to make other foods so that we can try them and get credit for making them. So, and then also don't forget to eat all your ingredients as well, because those will count. But anyways, I'm going to end out this episode here. I know it's wrapping up point, but between episodes I am going to work on expanding out the kitchen. I'm going to continue building, maybe start making drawers, working on the storage room, and then planting more crops, because of course we're going to want a lot of crops for all of our Pam's Harvestcraft stuff. And also stockpiling fish. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.